Hey, it's Alicia and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do a video on what I like to tell myself. I thought this would be useful for me and everyone else, so I will go through that. But just before that, I wanted to show this view whilst we were driving, and it was beautiful. There was orange and yellow hues and it was rainy, so then you could see lighter pigments of purple and even blue in the sky, and that was quite beautiful. So yeah, I wanted to show you guys the videos of this. This sunset is just the perfect conclusion to make about life, and that if you take the time to enjoy the present and just enjoy the way nature falls and how life flows, it's such a beautiful delight to experience. Back to the main point of the video, and the first thought that I have is compassion over judgment for yourself and others. Being yourself is enough for you to shine. Don't be over fixated on outcomes. When you think about it, it's about the journey. Don't underestimate your strength. You are way more stronger than you think you are. It's so fascinating how we underestimate our strength, but actually we are so much more stronger. It's just that we almost forget our strength. I mean, that's the case for me, but even beyond that, I think we just tend to underestimate our value and what we're able to do in life. So that's an important one. You are in the most perfect place in your life for you. You don't need to rush just because you're told that or the norm is so. Work at your pace. You get to pick the timings, crucially. You know yourself the most. Try not to get as scared of people's words. Believe me, I do get scared. You like to take conscious led actions and trust yourself in doing so. And that's what I tell myself. At the end of the day, I do take quite conscious based decisions, and that does take longer to figure out. And that's absolutely okay to take that time to figure yourself out. Keep taking actions that resonate with you, they help with confidence. Keep living a colorful life. You absolutely love that. This one's an important one. Life is random. You always think about patterns and what you can look from the past and see what happens in the future and things like that. We almost have this desire to predict the future, but a lot of the times the stress is because we are trying to predict, but we are not able to predict. So it's actually quite nice to realize that life is random. And I was told this, and since I was told this, it's the most beautiful fact and realization that I can take into daily life and feel so much at ease. For my perfectionists, not everything has to be amazing. Some things can be good enough. And that can save you a lot of time from burnout and energy from burnout. This one's an important one too. Gratitude is one of the simplest ways to feel elated and reduce pain each day. Rest and sleep are integral aspects of your growth and well being. No matter how much you stress, life has a randomness to it. Feel the peace of not knowing it all. That's following from the life is random one. When pressured, breathe, accept that you are doing your best, and remember your strength. Give yourself the grace. Focus on one task at a time and do it with passion. This is especially the case for a multi-potentialite like me. Feel your feelings. You feel better this way each time. And that's the truth, to be honest. Your emotional sensitivity shows that you care about yourself and others. You're a person filled with love, and there is nothing wrong with expressing and feeling that. I think that emotional sensitivity is almost seen as this weakness, but there is an inherent strength to this, and that is the compassion you have for yourself and others. And to show that and express that, I believe that you can literally feel much better because not everything is hidden and is not suppressed, even, if I should better say that. Play a little every day. Seems childish, but holds a lot of wisdom. You know what works for you most of the time. Trust yourself. This is not in an egotistical way, but rather that we do know ourselves the most, and there is a conscious awareness of that. And that you can trust yourself a little more than what you have been doing whenever you feel like life is going astray for you. You're a lot more valuable than you think you are, even in the moments you feel tired and broken. Accepting the reality is the first step to recovering from tough moments in life. I think acceptance is a big one in life, and sometimes it does take time in whatever you're dealing with, especially something as tough as grief. But acceptance can help you feel a lot less pain and even come to terms with what's going on and a thorough understanding about what's going on that can hold a lot of compassion for yourself in that process. And I think acceptance is the start of that process. I'm proud of you. A simple one, yet so important. You know the life that you've lived, the tough moments you've lived, and it's important to believe truly that yes, you are proud of yourself, and there is nothing so arrogant about that because you should be proud of yourself for living a life that is filled with challenges as well. You're a beautiful person inside and out. When I was little, I really wanted to hear this praise, and I used to love hearing that praise. And yeah, I felt like this was quite wholesome. And yeah, I still believe that. And that's my childhood little heart. Don't let fear hold you back. It means you're taking the challenges that will fuel you in life. And that's the interesting thing. Fear feels like you have to stop at that moment, but fear is just that evidence to say that, yeah, keep going. Maybe you might have to make adjustments, but it doesn't mean that you cannot do or pursue whatever you want to. If you want to do what you love to do, shame is part of the process. Shame doesn't mean what you do is wrong. And that's the interesting thing because shame makes you feel like you're doing something wrong. But being yourself and taking those actions that are me based actions, it doesn't mean you're wrong. It just means like you're taking a path that is filled with identity, and that's so important. I think that yeah, it might hold some shame throughout the process, but it doesn't mean that you are wrong. It just means that you're being yourself and you're being authentic. When sad, do something spontaneous outside of your normal life. This one's an interesting one, but it really works for me. And yeah, I wanted to write that out for myself and everyone else in case it helps. You don't need to perform in life. Experience each moment instead. That is magical right there. It's not about doing something a certain way or performing. It's about being yourself, and a human being is a person who is being themselves in a way. And I think that that's so important that you are yourself through the moments of life, and even through moments that require actions you can be yourself, and it's not almost a performance or an act in a certain way. Know your limits. Stay aware enough to know when you're pushing yourself too much. And make sure you listen to yourself, not the outside world, but yourself in this moment of time when you know that something is pushing your limits in a certain direction, whether you're working too hard, to know when to step back or to take a slower step forward. And that's so important in this lifetime because it's not a race almost in life. And that's so important to realize because we do feel like that, but it's more like a journey. And a journey is about stopping by and taking those momentarily breaks that are so crucial for you. As humans, you're meant to feel every emotion. Embrace it rather than avoiding it. You can handle every emotion if you sit with it and feel it. I think The interesting thing about emotions is we try to avoid it because we think we are not capable of feeling that emotion, or that it is too painful or it is too uncomfortable. But feeling that emotion is more so a short term thing, but almost avoiding it, that's what makes it long term and a long term issue. And your struggles, they almost manifest with different and various examples because of that lack of feeling aspect. Dance and philosophy aren't less important just because the focus in many people's minds is not those things. Dance and philosophy matter to you. In those topics lies your focus and career. So I know this fact, and I know it's a unique answer in terms of career and what I want to do and what I will do. But it's just this inner knowing, in knowing that my, well, I wouldn't say specialist because I'm more of a generalist, but it's more in those topics. Self doubt is always going to be there. As long as you are you, not performative you, that is good enough at any point of time. And that's what it is. Self doubt, we doubt ourselves thinking we have an inherent flaw, or that inside we feel like there is something that is not good enough, that we should doubt our abilities in taking an action. But if we really hone in into that, it's about being ourselves and accepting ourselves, so that that doubt, it is there, but it's knowing that fact that being yourself surpasses any doubt that you feel. Be so sure of yourself that you don't get swayed by perspectives that don't align with you. And that's an interesting one because I like to consider all options and I like to hear what everyone has to say and see the value of it, even if it's completely opposite to what I feel. But it's important to know that you need to be strong in your identity to know that which points and perspectives really don't align with you, and it's important to take that with a different sort of weight. And yeah, that's an interesting one. When scared, think about how you can cater for yourself to keep moving forward. I say this because I think that fear is rooted in some sort of way that you're being pushed into something or you have to deal with something that you're scared about. But if you really think about it, if you can cater for yourself and almost gently deal with that and almost nudge yourself through dealing with a new moment in life, a new action, then it feels a lot lighter and more at ease through that process. And that's what life is about, feeling that peace instead of almost just feeling like you have to do and take actions in a certain way that makes you feel very scared. Do the easiest task first. So I say this, and it's going to surprise a lot of people because people normally do the hardest task first and then they do the easiest task later. But for me, I just know that I cannot handle it that way. And it's that awareness that I know that I have to start slow before I do anything. And when I take those steps, I get to do the harder and harder and harder things. So, yeah. Growth over perfection. And that's so important because what does it even mean to be perfect? It's almost this idealized notion that's just not possible. And growing almost teaches you so much, and there's so many valuable lessons. And there is so much character development in that, that if you do something perfect, you almost lose that. Or that task is just completely easy for you and you're not really learning much. That's how I see it. Work in unison with time. This is quite a fantasy, so I left it at the end. Imagine the release of all of your thoughts each day. It feels freer this way. And I think that sometimes when you can't sleep at night, is almost because you have a lot of thoughts. And if you like just almost visualize this release of all these ideas in your head and to put it in one side, it's just like, yeah, now I can sleep. Make sure you can hear yourself. Make it the loudest voice to drive you in life. I've completely forgot to write this one. And I think that is so important because you have to hear yourself, and that's all about just connecting with yourself and knowing yourself and, yeah, what you want life to be. And that's so important. And just tying on to that, into that, sorry, that I just think that focusing on your identity is so important, and it provides this unique experience in life rather than this pre-made box way of life. And that's where the true joy comes, and there is almost this unknowing way of discovery to new moments in life. And that only happens when you focus on your identity and your character development. So, yeah, I hope you guys like this video. If you like the video, please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, like, I just want to say that, yeah, this has been a very interesting video, and I've actually really enjoyed it. And yeah, I want to stick these on the wall by my bedside because I want to look through that whenever I need to. And yeah, it's right by my side.